Don't cram 20 people on Zoom.
Fluorescent lighted office all day long. You probably are going to work from home.
Hello and welcome to No Office, a podcast about work, technology and life from a remote company perspective. My name is Rafal and as always, I'm joined by CEO of our No Office company, Nozbe, and my good friend, Michael Sliwinski. Hello, Michael. Well, I usually ask you, how are you? But
anxious.
Yeah, anxious. Me too. We are recording this episode like 1 week after the last one, because in the following week I will be away and we will mention some important topics today. So we decided to publish it right away in this week. So after that there will be 3 weeks break.
Yes.
And we feel anxious, so please forgive us if the quality of this episode will be slightly worse because talking English right now is as you can hear. All right. So Michael, we need to we feel like we need to talk about Ukraine.
I mean, it's been exactly a week. Today is Thursday, so it's been exactly 1 week when Putin's Russia invaded and attacked a sovereign country of Ukraine. So yes, and started a war. So yes, it's been exactly a week, and because we are Polish, and if you look at the map of Europe, Poland is right next to Ukraine and right next to Russia as well, and Belarus, which Belarus is basically Russia. And you will see that we are very close. These are our next door neighbors, and our next door neighbors are at war. And Ukraine was attacked ruthlessly by Russia, and now, as we speak, civilians are dying in Ukraine. So yes, we are very anxious. We are very scared. Because we are afraid this might escalate to a bigger war, and we are also afraid because we fear for our Ukrainian brothers and sisters because they're dying and defending their country, and this is completely pointless. Like, war is completely pointless, and Mr. Putin is a son of a what.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we want to talk about this because we are both from Poland, and this is international podcast. So we might bring some more light to this for our foreign listeners.
Yes.
And maybe even I hope that we have like 1 or 2 downloads per episode in Russia. So maybe we will get there with some proper information, not Putin's propaganda.
Yes, because I mentioned this. So we will be talking also about what we can do as Nozbe, and one of the things that I did was record a video, and which is on Nozbe blog. And the thing is that what I said there is that Russians are also close to us. They are very good friends. I have many friends in Russia, and they are very good people, but they're not free. They are ruled by a ruthless dictator named Putin, and he is brainwashing them. And many good Russians, good people in Russia, intelligent people in Russia, still believe that Russia is right now saving Ukraine. It's going there to save them instead of attacking them and just starting a war. So that's why we want to make it clear. There is no nuance. Ukraine is a free country that wanted also to be a part of EU, just like Poland, and NATO, just like Poland. So it's not like Ukraine had some big demands from the world. It wanted to be free and to just live and prosper. That's it. And Putin didn't like it. And because he's son of a you-know-what, he just decided to attack. And that's why it's really important for Russians to believe that, to understand that. Some of them do. Like, they are on the streets opposing war in St. Petersburg, in Moscow, in many cities, and they are being detained by police, also ruthlessly. So
Yeah, but that
yeah,
like the number of them is too low because
but I mean,
it's
just
easy
look.
for police to arrest them if there were like 100,000 of people on the street, that would be impossible to arrest all of them.
Exactly. But the thing
So
is that
they need to act.
yes, Russians need to act. So our Russians brothers and sisters, like you need to, get your act together. Like Putin should not be your leader anymore. So and that's why but think about it. It's been 20 years of Putin's rule. Like after 20 years of brainwashing, you believe anything, man. Like it's propaganda is, like is this thing that when you repeat a certain lie several times, it just stops being a lie. It just becomes, the status quo. So I feel for it. I have one of my best Russian friends. He lives in Belgium, and I talked to him recently, and he said that for him, it's so painful to go to Russia to visit his family and friends because they just chit chat about meaningless topics. Because the moment they step on something meaningful, he just cannot believe that they're brainwashed so much. So like we from the West, we don't realize that. Like the problem with West, like with the Western countries, was that we were tolerating Putin for just 20 years. And because we're tolerating him, he thinks he can do anything now.
Yeah, that's many different factors of this
yes.
Western world. But there is this currently in Ukraine. There is classical war right now, but there's also happening information war in the internet.
Exactly.
Yes, and it's very important if you are if you are interested in this topic and you want to learn more, please try to find on Twitter or only verified journalists with the political background who knows what they are, who knows the reasons of the war, etc., and can explain you more about that. But it's very important to not to retweet, to forward like random videos on the internet from Ukraine that are not yet verified by Reuters or other press agencies, because there are many Putin trolls in the internet that produce this information. And they tried already in Poland. They tried with giving us a panic about that gas, the petrol station will be out of petrol.
Yes.
Yeah, and like it was for 2 days because of this panic that
Exactly.
people started
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Later there was problem with cash in the cash machines.
Yes, everybody was lined up for ATMs.
Yeah, but it lasted for a day. Like there's no real danger. It's there. The danger is that we start panicking. Putin wants us, as we are Poland and we are helping Ukrainians a lot. Putin and Russian trolls in the internet will try to give us a conflict, internal conflicts, and spread disinformation. So we really need to stay calm and do our thing.
Yes, and because dictators, they lead with fear. That's the only weapon they have, and that's the strongest weapon they have. Fear. They want us to be afraid. They want us Polish people to be afraid to help Ukraine. They want the West to be afraid of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to continue with the politics anymore, but just like yesterday evening when I was going to sleep, I was thinking, like, why is NATO not, getting involved? And then many people, and I asked that on Twitter, and many people replied to me, they cannot because Ukraine is not in NATO. And I'm like, yes. So who says what we can or cannot do? Because Putin doesn't know cannot. He doesn't understand the phrase cannot.
Yeah.
Like he understands whatever the F I want. So
Yeah, but
it's so that's why it's like the West cannot do this. Why? Like what's the So anyway,
Like it's all political, of course. Now
Yes.
I will share some thoughts about this. So, but it may be very naive without context. But I think the sad thing is that for the West and mostly for US, they want for political goals to this war to take a lot of time, because thanks to this, Russia will be weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
And they probably don't want to use NATO forces to help Ukraine that much, because that may cause some reaction from China and escalate conflict to the whole world. So it's really tricky business.
Yeah, but the thing is that, like, smarter people than us should really worry about this and should strategize about this.
Yeah, but
because
I think they are helping, like how they could to not escalate the conflict.
Yeah, but really, like, we have to remember, Chinese governments, Russian governments, North Korean governments, like all these governments, they don't play by the book, by the rules. They don't care about the rules. They do whatever they want, and we need to remember that. Like, that's why I'm kind of annoyed that the Western society is so it's like playing nice with Russia and China so much, because they depend on them so much. That's why, for example, from the gadget perspective and from Apple perspective, I'm so annoyed that Tim Cook puts all his eggs in the Chinese basket, because this puts Apple at a disadvantage.
Yeah, like this is the problem, because like political class in Western Europe acted very well, I must say, not perfect, but very well.
Yes.
To the situation within this week. But now, because of this information war, like it's time for big tech company to act now, because actually their platforms are the reason why the Putin was able to put himself in the position to attack Ukraine.
Exactly.
Because of all the targeted ads or the anti-vaccine accounts now became disinformation accounts about Ukraine situation, and situation in Poland also.
Exactly. So now let's go to good stuff. Let's talk about good things. Maybe.
We had this meeting on Monday, and directors meeting, and we are thinking what we as Nozbe could do to help our brothers and sisters in Ukraine.
Okay, so we've already talked about how we do meetings in Nozbe, but I want to still quickly explain how it went down. So it went down that we were sending each other messages over the weekend, thinking what we can do, like just random messages actually. And then on Sunday evening, I wrote up a proposal, like an idea what we can do. I created a task for it, made a comment, mentioned everyone in the team, everyone. Just, this is my proposal, what we can do for Ukraine. Let me know what you think. So by Monday morning, when we have our directors meeting at 10:30 a.m., our directors coffee, we already had some thoughts, and we already had this proposal, and we already had comments, related to this proposal. So it was, I think that and that's why this meeting was kind of, it was hard still emotionally for us, but it was more, I think, effective because we already had some ideas what we could do.
Yeah, and I remember we wanted to. One idea was to put all the money we have from Russian users to help Ukraine. Yeah. So
yes.
All the income from Russia will be transferred to foundations for helping Ukraine, but we are no longer able to charge Russian people.
So I mean, Stripe, which we have as a backup solution for still lets people pay with rubles, which is weird. So so if we have any revenue coming from Russia, we will directly 100% of it transferred to Ukraine causes. So don't worry, we'll deal with this money. We'll make it clean, and we won't be profiting from Russia. And we are not doing any, and the people who are from Russia who will not be able to pay, well, they will not be able to pay. This is kind of our small sanction that we can do. Sanctions are, people say, are tricky. It's like with sports. People are like, are these sportsmen to blame for the war? And on one hand, you would say no, because they are just sports people. Like, what do they have to do with Russian politics? But on the other hand, very often their sponsors are companies related to Putin, Gazprom, like all these other companies. Like FIFA announced that Gazprom was one of the major sponsors, and that's why FIFA had to make a tough decision. And the same goes with Formula One. F1 Haas team, sponsored by a major Russian company, and having a son of an oligarch who's Putin's buddy on the team. So it's like everything is connected to Putin. I mean, again, it's Russian. The fault lies both, everywhere. First, the West tolerating Putin's Russia, but also within Russia, like aligning yourself with the government, aligning yourself with Putin. And that's why these sanctions are important. That's why these sanctions should be imposed. And that's why I'm so proud of how social networks work, where they, when FIFA said, no, we will just tell them to change the color, everybody was like, no, we are not, and I loved it. Like, a Polish national team was like, we are not playing Russia. Like, however they're named, we're not playing them.
We were supposed to play Russia by the end of the March
Yes.
for the qualification to the World Cup. And yeah, our team said we are not playing, and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, so FIFA had two choices. For example, announce Russia as the victor of the World Championships, because nobody will play them. So they will be the victor, or kick them out. And I'm happy that they did it. Still, FIA, for example, the management body of Formula One is not banning Russian drivers and Belarusian drivers, because both Russia and Belarus, they're the same. Like, so you have to, because Belarus is helping Russia. Like, Belarus is basically a state in Russia right now. It's not a country anymore. So anyway, the FIA, the automotive, the big agency that rules all the races, said they didn't want to be, brave enough to announce that Belarusian and Russian drivers should not drive anymore. But then each country is saying, we're not taking them in. So, for example, in the UK, if they want to go to Silverstone, no dice, because UK said, no, we will not have any Russian or Belarusian drivers here. So it's like, is the smaller countries, branches of FIA are just saying nope. So I love this, the social pressure, the pressure from Twitter, from Facebook, all this pressure, it's working. So also, fight disinformation is the first thing, and second, keep putting on the pressure. If FIA is doing something stupid, keep tweeting about it. Keep telling them, guys, you're not brave enough. So I love it. Like, the change that has happened within this short week was just amazing. Like, from we'll see to let's go.
Yeah, I'm proud of it too. And let's go back what we can do as Nozbe. So we will be. I think we are working right now. Ola is working on this Russian blog post about the situation. So we will push this blog post into the app. So there is the way we can get to some Russian people
to our Russian users,
to provide them with real information, not propaganda one. So we can use our platform. It's of course it's very small number, but still everyone counts. We are offering Nozbe Premium for 1 year for free for all the Ukrainians.
Yes, and it doesn't matter if it's a personal account, if it's a corporate, a company, it's an organization. If you're from Ukraine, you get Nozbe for free for at least a year. So,
yes, and the same goes to all the organizations that are helping Ukraine and that fight against this information war in the internet.
Yes, because right now I'm really proud of Polish people. We are getting organized very quickly, and you yourself are very involved as well. I am involved too here. Because I'm from afar coordinating this with our Gdańsk, friends from the Gdańsk. So and with my mom, like with many people. So like people are in Poland are getting organized. So if you're a Polish, team getting Ukrainian relief organized, you can get Nozbe for free, Nozbe Premium. So just drop us an email. Like if you check all these boxes, just drop us an email at support@nozbe.com and we will provide you with premium accounts, premium teams to be able to get organized, to be more organized, and to put everything there and just make sure that everything goes to appropriate, families, people, and all that stuff.
Yep, and yeah, another thing what we actually should do this earlier, but yeah, translating up to Ukrainian.
Yes.
Yes, we are working on this right now. Yeah, and we provided to our team additional days of vacation, like 2 days per month, for that can be spent on volunteer work for helping in all those foundations that collect stuff for Ukraine.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. Like we know that this war it might be long, it might be short, we don't know. But whatever happens, our Ukrainian brothers and sisters will need help. That's why we are giving these 2 additional extra days free every month for the entirety of this year at least. For our entire Nozbe team, so that people can just, if there are things to do in your local branch of people helping Ukraine, you can just take the day off and just work there and just help out, without taking, sacrificing your personal vacation time.
Yeah, and with nature of our work, you can take like 2 hours each day, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is yeah, because I got involved because we have this new building in our district, like center of local activity and
community center. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, community center, like and I'm the part of the local NGO who won a contract to operate this center. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and together with foundation, we started to working on collection stuff for Ukraine from local people. Yeah, and yeah, it's very very tricky. Like it started on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and the first 2 days was a total chaos. Like people were bringing everything, and not all of the stuff was okay for giving to Ukrainian or sending to Ukraine. So we needed to sort it to figure out some systems, etc. What is good that my fiance also got involved, and she has experience, like 8 years experience in working in the small warehouse because she worked in this big fashion shop. Yeah, and she managed to organize some order, etc. And now we are well. It's not perfect, of course, but there's more order. We can fit more stuff, and we know what we need, what we don't accept anymore, etc. And we update every day on social media what people can bring to help, etc. Because like now the top priority is to send as many stuff to Ukraine as we can, as long as it's possible to drive to Kyiv or other big cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's very hard because we were witnesses of the like people like driving with big trucks to Ukraine and taking Ukrainians who lived in Poland for 3-4 years. They want to go there and fight, and like I cannot imagine how hard this decision is for them, because like they are leaving the guy was leaving his wife here. He has never been in the army, but he still wants to go there, and it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I am anti-military, I'm a pacifist. Actually, I'm anti everything.
Me
But
too. Like, I think weapons shouldn't exist, but
yes, but when you're being attacked, you have to defend yourself, and that's the thing. And I do believe in self-defense. I was a karate champion, so I know that self-defense is important. Like you mustn't attack, but you must defend yourself if you're being attacked. And I still, it's hard for me to process that now in 21st century we have to deal with this stuff here. The free Europe, free world has this at their doorstep, and with the threat of escalation. So it's really hard. So I'm really proud of our Ukrainian brothers and sisters. Like they are fighting,
like
crazy.
They resist. They are so brave, and I'm so pissed off for myself because I have, like, not close, but I have some family in Ukraine, and I've never been there.
No, I've never been to Ukraine as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to go there, like, as soon as war is over. I'm going there. I want to learn Ukraine, and yeah, because now I've met many people from Ukraine within this week, and yeah, but still, as I said, it's as you can hear, that there are many, like, emotions there, but still there are many positive emotions there, because people are so grateful for our help, and working together to helping people, it's so satisfying. And even talking to people, because if you want to help, if you want to bring some stuff to those collection centers, it's always better to bring one big boxes of one type of product than one big box of 20-30 products, because it's so much easier to sort it, to prepare everything ready to be sent to Ukraine, or to give to Ukrainian people who are refugees from the war, and they will start living here in Poland in many cities. Yes, we want to help them as well. And we actually have one woman there who is Polish and Russian. She has two passports. Also, she has family in Ukraine, and she cannot speak to family in Russia because her family in Russia is brainwashed, and they hate her because she is helping Ukrainians. Actually, she cannot go to Russia right now because she can go to jail for 10 or 12 years because of helping Ukrainians.
Yeah. And really, again, because we know, we are so close, we are in Poland. Trust me on this. Polish people, Ukrainian people, Russian people, we are very similar. We speak very similar language. Basically, I speak some Russian, and what I don't speak in Russian, I basically, get away with speaking Polish with Russian accent. So it's and the same with Ukraine. So it's really, we are very close people. And because of the wars from the 20th century and before that, like, our nations are mixed, very mixed. Like Lviv, which is a Ukrainian city right now, it used to be a very vibrant Polish city. So there is a very big Polish community in Lviv. And we are not claiming it. We are not going to take it over and attack Ukraine to take our Lviv, our city. What happens is that it's a very multicultural city right now, like Polish and Ukrainian, but also the whole Ukraine. Like, because of history, many people went to Russia. Many people, went to Ukraine who were Russians, and so they're very mixed. And in my family, there is a Ukrainian woman, and like a very distant aunt, and her husband is a Russian officer. So just think about it. Like, this is crazy stuff. So really, like, this war, from a personal perspective from us, makes no sense at all. The only sense, it's political sense of a crazy person, Mr. Putin. I shouldn't even call him Mr. Just Putin. Like, he doesn't deserve any kind of anything.
Yeah, and two more things I wanted to mention. Like, I feel exhausted emotionally because of those mixed emotions, but when I'm going there to help, I feel very energized.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the last week, it was very hard for me to focus on work. So it was impossible to do deep work. I was focusing in the time I have for work only to do feedback work.
Mm-hmm.
So to help others who are able to deliver stuff in deep work, to not block them, give them feedback, etc. So it's nice that the way we work allow it. So I still can bring some value and not taking the whole week off.
Yes.
And one positive thing I wanted to mention, because yesterday, actually like 2 weeks ago, I bought finally new 4K display, and my old full HD display, I took it to this community center, and together with a friend, with my neighbor, he got some old Raspberry Pi, and we connected it in the center to put it some kind of info kiosk with useful information for Ukrainians, both in Polish and Ukrainian, and we are just showing the slides there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's better used than anything else, like of our monitor. Like, it's a very, very good idea.
Yeah.
And also on my end, it's been tough this whole week, especially like last week when I woke up. I was still enjoying my holidays. I was in a hotel. And when I was in a hotel room, I remember waking up on Friday morning and seeing the images of children sleeping in the underground stations because they are afraid of bombings, and then seeing my children sleeping in their beds. And I was like, wow, this freedom thing, it cannot be underappreciated. Like, we completely take it for granted, but like, my children are still sleeping in their beds, not there in the underground, but they can be next. So it was very hard. Anyway, work keeps me sane. So very often I try to turn off all these notifications and information. Later I catch up, of course. But like yesterday, for example, I was making sure that the whole day long I wasn't reading anything. I was just working, trying to work, recording the video for our Ukrainian relief, writing about it, like preparing all that stuff without actually, looking at news.
Yes.
And then I caught up later in the evening. But it was kind of my asylum. It was kind of my way of compartmentalizing, to make sure that I have some sanity, because otherwise, because we cannot fight now. Like, I cannot, go there and fight at this moment. So you can feel completely, pointless. Like, all, when you look at war, every kind of work seems meaningless, because, like, why? Like, there are people fighting for their lives. But on the other hand, we need to make sure that we still keep sane, because, again, this is what Putin wants. He wants us to be afraid. He wants us to be restless. He wants us to be angry. But like, let's keep the anger, but let's kind of like, let's let's make it sure that we use it wisely, and let's make sure that we do have the way to switch off, do some work, do something for ourselves, and then get back to helping, to you, as you said, to getting energy from helping.
Yeah, like funny thing is that on Mighty Friday 2 weeks ago, I make some sorting on my Twitter account, and like I still follow some I used to follow still political stuff, but I muted all of this and provide myself like weekly newsletters from those tweets with a Mailbrew service. Yeah. But that was 2 weeks ago. But now it's impossible not to follow this. So I now even follow more. And yeah, on Tuesday I started to feel anxious when when reading social media. So I will do it like 2 times per day only. And actually I managed to do it like I haven't seen any news since yesterday afternoon. So yeah, but because at the beginning it was a very positive feeling reading how brave Ukrainians are fighting against Russian, but after this information war started to be bigger and bigger in Poland, then well, yeah, you need to take breaks from this, because staying sane is very important, because as you said, it's a marathon. It's not
Yes,
a
it's a
sprint.
marathon.
Yeah, our help will be needed for many months.
Yes.
Hopefully not years, but yeah.
And the worst part is, of course, the fact that we have one big tragic thing after another. Like we just, thought we survived the pandemic, and we thought we're going back to normal life, and then this happened. So it's like, why? Yeah. All right. So maybe let's take a break and thank our sponsor, Nozbe, because this is our self-asylum, like working on Nozbe, and we are working on new features, working on new things, sometimes slower, sometimes faster, but trying to work on this, and this brings us joy, and hopefully it will bring joy, to the Ukrainians who will use it for free, and get everything organized, and hopefully, at some point the war will be over, and people will need to get organized in Ukraine, and they could use Nozbe to get organized completely for free, so that they can rebuild the country and rebuild their strength.
Yep.
We tried different project management tools for the first couple of years when I was with the organization I currently am, CCMA. And then we realized that we just need really one place where we can communicate, where we can share projects, where we can think in written form, where we can give each other feedback. So we tested a couple different things, and eventually we settled with Nozbe Teams. And it's been really fun to see the software mature and just get better and better. The data security, I know the company is totally committed to improving the product. For us, it's simple. We have some members of our team who are very tech savvy and some who aren't as tech savvy. So to find one tool that actually is usable for all those is not easy. We did dabble in a couple of competitors, and they were just too much. Too complicated, too many features. What our team needed was something simple, reliable, trustworthy, something that was fun and attractive and enjoyable to use. And so Nozbe Teams has really fit for us. It's met that sweet spot. It's reasonable. We're a nonprofit, and so the price is right. It's easy to add members. I just added somebody yesterday. It was no big deal. I think I went to the 5-person plan to 6. It was not a big deal, so that's nice because it's flexible for us. It just gives us a place to park everything, and it works for us. So we don't want to be emailing within our team. We're not perfect at that, but we want to cut down on that. We want to cut down on interruptions during the day. And so I'll try anything that will help accomplish those two things. So for us, Nozbe Teams really fits that need that we have as a small team.
Okay, let's talk about Fridays.
Yeah, so again, as we said, we have to continue living, and let's talk about something that brings us joy, and a change in our company that brought us lots of joy and is still questioned by many companies or questioned by many people. MightyFridays. So the way we do Fridays, and I would like to start how this policy came to be, and it was 5 years ago already, or even 6, no, 5.5 years ago.
Yeah, 2016, I think.
Yes.
In the autumn, yeah.
Yes. And it was this thing that, like, there are 3 questions. First question: how can people work less but better, more effective? but less, but not like pulling, all-nighters and burning candle from both ends. And then second question, how can people, learn more? And then third question, how do we encourage regular weekly reviews? And we know weekly reviews are very important because they help us summarize the week and then prepare next week. So I went through many iterations of this. I was checking through many things. And especially on one Friday when I was doing my weekly review, I realized how many of our team members are not doing weekly reviews, are not progressing, or just don't have time to learn new technology or new stuff. And that's how the policy basically was born.
Yeah, and it really proved that it was a good call, because like all the foundation for new Nozbe, like Zax, Watermelon DB, all those technologies, open sourced technologies that we published, are the now foundation of new Nozbe. They started as a Mighty Friday project, like for this dedicated time to learn new stuff, new technologies, explore new ideas. It started with this, and it's, if you think like this, it's actually an investment.
I mean, because it is
in the future, because people are growing. We learn new stuff, and later what we learned we use in day-to-day work to work less but better.
There is this phrase coined by great time management, productivity thinker, Mr. Stephen Covey, and it's to sharpen the saw. And in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, or First Things First, or both, he was explaining the concept that before you want to use the saw to take down a tree, you should spend a few hours sharpening the saw first. Because if you have a sharp saw, it's going to be just easier, more effortless to get down the tree. And if you have not so sharp saw, then you might spend just lots of time, huffing and puffing and not really getting anywhere. And that's the thing with Fridays. Like, we decided that we should work from Monday to Thursday on day-to-day stuff, on stuff that's relevant to our work, to our job description. And then on Friday is the sharpen the saw day. It's the moment where you do a reflection, where you do a weekly review. You review your tasks, your projects, everyone else's tasks that you want to review, and then you explore some new ideas. Then you have this time to watch an online conference. Like, we became kind of hoarders of, I'm going to save this for later. I'm going to watch this later. I'm going to read this later. And then you never do, because you never have the time. And that's why we have these Fridays, because then on Friday, you can completely legitimately, it's legit. It's, you're not doing anything against your company. You're not doing anything against your boss. You have the time to do it your way. And that's why also this trick is that Friday is completely designed by the employee, by the team member. So there is no way your manager or me, the boss, can tell you how you do your Friday or what you work on a Friday. Like, Friday is yours. It's Friday is free for you, but it's not a free day per se. It's not a free day of work, although it's a lighter day. Like, you can work less on Friday. Like, it's up to you, but it's a day where you can dedicate your time to review your stuff and then learn something new, basically.
Yeah, like actually, I like to what I learned from all of these years, that my most effective weekly reviews are in the afternoon, because because this weekly review concept is from getting things done, and it's about personal productivity. And it's much easier to do weekly review in your personal systems when you don't have any input from the team.
Yes.
But as we do, the whole team is doing weekly review on Friday. There are many activity in the task, so
Yes.
so it's hard to finish weekly review because there are more comments in the pipeline. They are coming, and some mentions and some notifications. So I try to start Fridays with learning something new first, and after lunch, like doing a weekly review when the activity is there's much calmer situation inside inside Nozbe, and it works.
I mean, what we've learned, is that finally people are really reviewing stuff, reviewing projects, reviewing tasks, which brings sometimes out some passive-aggressive comments like, "Rafal, do we need this task?" Or "Rafal, what's
Yeah.
happened here?" Or "Rafal, do we need this project?" Like all these things, and this is great. Like I love it. Sometimes you have to explain yourself. Yes, I still need this project because I want to do this and that. And then it's clear and it's fine, and then everybody can see that comment, which is the brilliance of Nozbe. But sometimes you're like, "Oh yeah, you're right, we don't need that anymore," or "Let's just abandon this task," or "Let's just make it as done because actually it was done, but I never got around to ticking it
Yeah,
off."
or I thought I wanted to do this, but it was like 2 years and actually nothing happened. So maybe it's not that important.
Exactly. So that was one of the things that we learned, like this, but it helps the team to learn to communicate. So these passive aggressive kind of comments are good because people are pushing each other, like, Rafal, make a decision, like, do you need that? Like, 2 years have passed, like what's going on there? And so it's really, really good. And the problem, I mean, all these years that we've had in Nozbe is that, contrary to popular opinion, people want to work on Friday. They don't want to, like, they feel kind of weird that that it should be their day. I think people have been kind of brainwashed into thinking that we, as a company, we are setting up some framework from them to work, and they just have to follow the framework. And people need autonomy. And I think thanks to Fridays, people in our company are learning autonomy, learning these who had not so strong autonomy in the past. They're learning, okay, this is my day, I can do it the way I want. So and it's hard for them, but slowly and surely they are getting into it. But sometimes they just even needed a push. So for example, in our customer support department, they were always complaining that they don't really have Fridays because they still have to answer to emails and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, so make a change, like do something different. And then suddenly they realized, let's try to treat Friday as a weekend. So somebody is on call for customer support, but we answer not as fast on Friday as we do every other day. And when we answer, we actually add an information that today is Friday, make it a Mighty Friday. And now we even have this brilliant website, fridayisfree.com. And you can just go there and see how we do Fridays. This way we can not only remember that this is Friday, so we should work differently, but also teach our customers that this is how we work, and maybe inspire them to also do Fridays differently, because I really believe that this is a game changer.
Yeah, and it's really is, because, like, as I said, not only like Zach's Watermelon DB, our open source project, but for example, like we want to implement some feature in Nozbe, and there's still some technology to be learned or to be explored, if that's even possible. And developers are free to work on, if they feel like they want to explore this. Like Friday is the way to do it, and many features were implemented because of this. Because some of the developers felt like he wanted to explore the stuff, and later it got implemented.
Yeah. Also on Friday, for example, I do schedule. I try to schedule meetings with fellow business people, so to learn from them, to get inspired from them. I have my now it's a monthly. It used to be weekly, but now it's a monthly mastermind meeting. I have it, every second Friday of the month, actually. And then when it's not there, then I try to schedule a meeting with a different, entrepreneur, or with my mentor, or with somebody like this. Again, knowing that it's Friday, I have the time. I can talk to them like for 2 hours, and it's fine. I'm not spending time, valuable time that I could have, answered some feedback in the comments and pushed some things forward. It's a Friday. I can have the luxury to talk to them, because again, it's an investment, as you said. So me talking to my mentor, or like a fellow business entrepreneur, it's an investment of my time, of getting ideas, and feeding each other of ideas. And it's important that we do it. And again, when do we do it? And I can tell you that it's kind of contagious. So some of my entrepreneur friends, knowing that we do Fridays like this, are like, okay, so I should also take Friday slower. I should. They're also getting this pressure from me. I mean, not pressure, but hopefully inspiration. And I'm really happy about this. It's contagious, and it's good.
Yeah, but that brings you clarity from Monday to Thursday, because you don't have to worry about, okay, that's interesting, I want to read this, oh, I want to watch this conference. You have the space on your calendar to do it, so you don't have to be bothered. Okay, today after the work I will do it. No.
Yes, because this is kind of the thing that many companies are saying, personal development of our people is most important for us. But then when do you do it? Just like in our intro, after hours, on weekends. Like, if it's important, you schedule it. And this is our way of scheduling personal development. We schedule it on Friday. That's it. So it's very easy. And now, Rafal, which I'm really happy about this in our team, we are really changing our product, Nozbe, to reflect these values. So one of the key features of new Nozbe is the reminders feature. So when you have a task, it doesn't matter whose task it is, you can set a reminder for it. So for example, I dedicate a task to Rafal, but I want to make sure, I want to check in a few days if he's really done it or something. So I can set a reminder, like remind me in 2 days, or remind me tomorrow, or remind me next week. But then I was going through my tasks and I realized, oh, but there's no remind me on Friday, because some tasks are, I'm just going to check on Friday how it went, if something happened throughout the week. Or maybe there is a task for me to, watch a conference, or read an article. Again, remind me on Friday. So I suggested it, and I think within a week or 2 weeks, we had it already shipping in the app. That right now, when you quickly click reminder, or remind me, and it's a Thursday or Friday, it says next Friday. But if it's any other day of the week, it says on Friday. So very easily, you don't have to just tap calendar, like find the Friday and go. It's just remind me on Friday. Bam.
Yeah.
So
Because
this way,
on Thursday you still have option tomorrow.
Exactly. On Thursday you have option tomorrow, but then on Thursday you might think, I'm not going to do this Friday. I'm going to do it on next Friday. So that's why we did it like this. But this is brilliant, because then I can really postpone tasks from my incoming view to Friday, and then review them on Friday, which I'm going to do anyway, because it's my weekly review day. So I love it how we not only live by these principles, how we spread them with our fridaysfree.com website, but also how we integrate this in the product. So it's like it's in there, and that's why it's so cool.
Yeah, totally, and and I like how this incoming and activity views. Like I always highlight this how they work. Because really, like incoming, I try to have 0 task in incoming by the end of each day. But during after weekly review, I want to have incoming and activity counters to 0, because like there are many things happening in the projects I follow, but I'm not that involved. But the Friday is the way to review this activity. If there is something I can give feedback on, or I need to work on in the next week, etc.
And there was pushback, and there is pushback whenever we talk about Fridays, and when I talk to press. I mean, we've been highlighted, and I mean, we were featured in many press outlets about this, and very often the journalists are coming to me are like, yeah, but maybe Michael, you're just a sucker. You're just a boss that just gives people a day free and is okay with that, and that's it. And again, they don't see the investment. They don't see the boost of autonomy, the boost of investing in people, the boost of getting people better at organizing things. Like, they don't see that these components are coming along on Fridays. And that's why it's my duty to make sure that people have good Fridays. And whenever they don't, then change something in the company to make sure that they do. And I think from, like, you can also kind of measure sanity of our people in the team by how good they do their Fridays. And because if somebody is not up to speed with everything, or is just chasing their own tail, very often they have crappy Fridays because they're like still trying to figure this out. So really, these Fridays are paramount to what we do, and I have understood the value of it. We have understood. I mean, we have proof. We have all these, as you said, we have all these projects that were born on Fridays, and we know it works.
Yeah, and we have this rule that if I delegate some task to you on Friday or mention you on Friday, I don't expect you to take care of this on Friday, unless I really said I literally said that in the comment that okay, this is urgent. We must fix that today. But that happens like once a year or something like this.
Okay, let's talk about something brilliant that is so obvious that many people still are not doing it. We don't ship Nozbe on Fridays. Like, we don't ship Nozbe to customers on Fridays. Like, we ship any other internal version, yes, but not a customer facing version. And many software companies are doing it wrong because they are shipping on Friday. They want to have this clean thing. They have finished the week and they're shipping on Friday, but then they stay up for the weekend because things go wrong and there are bugs and they have to fix them. So we learned our lesson the hard way. So if you're a software company, take it from us. You ship on Monday, because on Monday, when you ship and something goes wrong, you have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to fix it. Like, you have a normal work week to fix it. You don't ship stuff before the weekend.
Yeah, of course. Like, shipping to production on Monday, on Friday is like.
Yeah, but you say, of course, but many companies are doing it still. Like, it's still something new, that you shouldn't do it. Like, I think this, like, our inherent willingness to complete things, to bring things to completion. Like, I've worked on this feature. Now I'm going to ship it. It makes sense. Like, we want to complete stuff in our mind, and postponing it for next week, for Monday, feels kind of a waste.
Yeah, but we even don't ship internally on Friday.
Oh yeah.
There's no go for merging to master in our repository of Nozbe,
okay.
unless it's really critical. Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't break our dogfooding internal app on Fridays and don't spend Fridays on fixing it. Yeah. We break our dogfooding app from Monday to Thursday.
Yeah. This is the time to break things.
Yeah, and another part is that if we don't push updates to dogfooding environment on Friday, and on Friday is weekly review day, so people are using app more. They are adding more comments, switching views, etc. So this is a good stress test before Monday release.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
after on Monday morning, we merge like release branch from master, and now the master is free to next improvements, next merges. Yeah.
To be broken again.
Yeah, to be broken again. Yeah, and yeah.
But that's a good point. Like, because people are using Nozbe very much on Fridays due to weekly review, yes, it's a very good stress test before we ship it. This is also the plus of using your own tool that you're working on anyway.
All right, like Jonas says that tomorrow is gonna be a Mighty Friday.
Of course. Of
And-
course.
And that's true. So, are you okay with wrapping up this episode?
Yeah,
Because it's
I
an
think
hour
so, yes.
already. Yes.
Hmm.
So, thanks for listening and watching. And remember, like tomorrow is Mighty Friday. So,
Listen to Jonas.
yeah, go to fridays3.com, learn how we do that, learn how to do weekly review, plan priorities for next week, and learn something new to have a great weekend. And if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to support this podcast either by sharing it with a friend or leaving us a nice review in Apple Podcast or by checking out our Nozbe app. But the best thing you can do right now is to support Ukraine. So
Yes.
please do so. Find a foundation or do some volunteer work, because that's really important. They are fighting for all the Western world right now. All right, that's it for today. Say goodbye, Michael.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that on the website on fridaysfree.com is very well done. You can see exactly what we talked about, like all how we do it, and also a good recipe for a good weekly review. So follow just all the guidelines on this website. And enjoy your Mighty Friday and really help Ukraine. Let's stay united with Ukraine.
This episode has not been created in the office, because in Nozbe there is no office. Your hosts were Michael Sliwinski and Rafal Sobolewski. All the links and show notes you can find on nooffice.fm/37. The whole production process of this episode has been coordinated in a project in a Nozbe app. Control is good, but trust and transparency are so much better. Thank you and see you in 3 weeks. Remember to have a Mighty Friday.
Bye-bye.